If you're working on an engine that turns over too slowly, check battery voltage first. If the battery isn't 100% charged, check battery terminals, see if they're corroded or loose. Check cables and drive belts. Check the engine ground. And then look for any aftermarket changes to this engine. Things like radials that can draw too much from the battery. If the battery voltage is low, go to parasitic draw and determine why the battery is low to see if there is a draw on the battery when the ignition is in the off position. Determine if you're the reason for the battery being discharged. Have you been working for a long time with the key in the run position? Have you been working with the door open and the interior lamps are on? After you're sure that the battery voltage is normal, go ahead and load test the battery. Divide the code cranking amps in half. Now, if you have a vehicle with an aftermarket battery, make sure that aftermarket battery is equal to or greater than the OE battery code cranking amps. Our example is 550. We divided it in two. We got 275 amps. Now we're going to apply that 275 amps for 15 seconds. The battery must stay above 9.6 volts for the entire 15 seconds. Then after you turn the load off, you must be sure that the battery recovers to 12.4 volts or higher. If it doesn't, recharge and retest the battery. If it fails to recover after the recharge, replace the battery and don't mess with it. If the battery falls below 9.6 volts and still recovers to 12.4 volts, replace it. If the battery passes, check starter draw. And you want to check starter draw to make sure that a bad starter isn't drawing a good battery down too low. If the starter draw fails, go to starter voltage drop test. And you want to do this because you may be replacing a good starter that just has loose connections on it. If the starter draw is higher than normal, but not excessive, check the engine to see if it's too tight because of a mechanical reason. Don't overlook that an engine turns over too slowly might have a mechanical reason.